Hello there, weary traveler. You have arrived. This is the place where our paths intertwine. Ssethtzeentach's Tribal Hunter Review Hyperinflation Edition. What else is there to say? I just saw the title and I know it's gonna be bad. The title and the thumbnail. And it's gonna be a game kind of reminiscent to illegitimate offsprings, but geared towards furries, and not any furries, but towards furries that are into inflation. So Pyrocynical and his viewer base. I am joking, I shouldn't judge. We all have skeletons in our closet. You know that image of we are all addicted to something, and there are different peoples with different addictions, and there is one guy sucking on toes. That is not my addiction, that is not my weakness, but we all have something like that. I'm obviously not gonna just straight up say on video what that is, but I gotta say, with Seth, it's kind of weird seeing him cover a furry game, but obviously he has that wild card energy where you don't know what he will review next. Maybe it will be a chill game where you break down spaceships, maybe it will be some old ass strategy game, maybe it will be Tribal Hunter. You just never know. This whole fucking intro doesn't make sense. I'm just stalling. I'm afraid of what I will see if I hit spacebar right now. Send help, man. Please, I don't wanna go out like this. Anyway, let's put the quality to full HD, so it's all crisp, so it's all fresh, so it's all... Let's just see. Let's just see it.
Hey people, Seth here. Here's our topic of the day.
I wanna read the disclaimer.
Seth.
This video is purely satirical and does not represent financial advice. Do your own research before making investment decisions. Your capital is always at risk. I'm sure this is an economic video for educational purposes only. I am sure of it.
Here. Here's our topic of the day. Inflation. Inflation is a global topic. Some of the most powerful people on this planet are the same people responsible for the most inflation. Coincidence? I think not. You might think it's just a way of printing liquidity for short-term gain and no consequence, because, after all, everything is tethered to the dollar since we abolished the Bretton Woods system in 1971. So, even if you're holding pounds, euros, or yen, it doesn't matter, because you're equally screwed. Our hyperinflation is your hyperinflation. Enjoy. In conclusion, the Federal Reserve is run by hyperinflation fetishists. But here's the thing, they're not doing it for money. They're doing it because they're perverts, and
I don't like the noises, man. How do people find this shit attractive? Like, I'm not even gonna... I mean, you cannot even, like, do the thing with this on, right? Like, I'm not even gonna try to apply the bro looking like Pyrocynical's mods in Team Fortress 2.
they find it to be extremely hot. Now, let's talk about something completely unrelated. Tribal Hunter is a completely innocent game where you play as an anthro lizard who is sent to guard over the land. You fight, you protect the innocent. You consume your enemies by ventilating them directly into your mouth. And it's really funny because if you eat too much, he gets large. Oh god, imagine that. And what if he ate even more and got even larger? Well, that would be crazy. But don't eat too much or you're gonna pop. This is an allegory for your blood vessels, which are going to pop if you keep going down this road, because soon enough, the only way you can keep going down this road is in a motorized mobility scooter. As Answer me this. What will you do when Elon Musk turns off the Tesla battery in the middle of the woods? That's right. You're going to be kissed to death by a pack of nanny dogs who just broke out of the local nursery. And guess what? Breakfast was free infants ago. You're the main course. Think about that next time you're engorging yourself like the hungry caterpillar that you are. This game plays like a brawl.
I just wanna say, despite certain movements saying certain things, obesity is no joke. Even being slightly obese can cut your life expectancy by fucking 10 years. Take your health seriously. You don't have to go on a crazy diet or anything like that. Just count your calories and set a certain limit. You can do some research how many calories you should eat per day, and you don't have to go to that number right away. Just, work towards that number week by week, day by day. Just keep cutting away calories and leave the essentials in. Like, I eat fucking bacon every day, man. I love bacon. Just today I was eating a big ass fucking burger, just a slab of fat. I love eating fat. And then I ate Ben & Jerry's like topped caramel ice cream, and I'm definitely not obese. Yeah, it just all comes down to calorie counting and cutting out some really aggressively bad for you stuff, which is mostly just to use less oil to cook things. And if you cook something in oil, for example deep fry, make sure you get that oil out of it with a paper towel, for example. But yeah, do yourself a favor and don't wait for one of your organs to fail. That's extreme cases, obviously, but take care of your body. You are in it for the long run, we all are in it for the long run, and there's no reason not to keep this, this fucking really complex machine, biological machine. There is no reason to make it more complicated for it to keep us alive,
This game plays like a brawler platformer Metroidvania. It's like the old Metroids if Samus was or could become heavily pregnant, and this grants gameplay advantages.
Okay.
It's much the same way. When you're small, you're very quick, you're very nimble, and you can platform really easily. When you're large, you hit like a truck. Your damage, your animations, your hitbox, they all scale with your stomach content. However, you become both vertically and horizontally challenged. When each footstep is the equivalent of a quake in Asia, jumping is the least of your concern. This might not be politically correct to say, but there's no way to sugarcoat it without making you even larger. You're a fat fuck. So, how do we shed those pounds? Well, you sit down and you metabolize your food in a matter of seconds. When the morbidly obese blame it on metabolism, this is exactly what they mean. This is what they're competing against. This goddamn lizard just metabolized, and I calculated this, by the way. I took an average slaughter-sized 250-pound hog, and he ate 3 of those, which, in a span of 15 seconds, he has digested completely. That's over 500,000 calories reabsorbed into his body, and still we're
3 pigs is 500,000 calories? Isn't that enough to give almost 200 people something to eat for an entire day? Because that would be 2050 calories per person, which is, you should eat even less, 2000 per day. Did he count that correctly? Jesus fucking Christ. I did not realize that 1 pig is that much food. Holy goddamn.
asking stupid questions like, why can he breathe fire? Here's a question. Why wouldn't he? Sitting down quickly trades satiety for health, and it's your primary way of healing up between fights. It's actually genius design. Like, think about it. You're making a game and you get really happy when things get larger. That dopamine hits hard, like coronary heart disease. But where do we go from here? It's already half a screen, and the commission artist is just not responding anymore. After the last request, there's no sign of him. Their postal address leads us to a monastery in Middle England. But if we have to deflate and get smaller as part of a gameplay mechanic, just like free refills at a Denny's, we can get large over and over again. You get power-ups, you get stronger, and you get access to more levels. Naturally, the most common and relevant form of power-up is increasing your stomach capacity. Now you might think, oh, my capacity just got 10 points higher. And like me, you might initially miss that firing of a neurons, that transmission of a synapse, where you realize, oh, this isn't my final form. I can get larger. And so there's this strange drive pushing you forward where you're kind of morbidly fascinated. Because you see, there's many forms of motivation, and ours is to see how large we can possibly get. Who is this game for? Why are we covering it? Why is it important? That's a very simple answer. First, they came for the furry inflationists, and I did not speak out, for I was not a furry inflationist. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out. That's why we defend them now and we get on good terms so that during the upcoming political upheaval, they can return the favor and vor our enemies. Due to the nature of my work, I cover some really old and really niche games. Problem is, it's hard to get
Damn. I just want to say that was a lot of excuses for what you committed, Seth, before our eyes, mind you. I wonder if Seth actually has like a public Steam profile that you can just look at. Do you think he beat the entire game? Like, how many hours he put into Tribal Hunter? Maybe multiple playthroughs, New Game Plus? How deep does that curiosity go, Seth?
An original copy, so I depend on friends and family to send me a working copy of Bad Rats 2, Punjabi Pre-Cracked No Virus. One of the most stable ways to do this is torrenting, or as it's more commonly known, trying before buying. Unfortunately, my internet provider and the people who work there are the product of a brother and sister who loved each other a little too much, as they cannot distinguish between illegal torrenting and me trying to download a legitimate copy of a game I already own. So they throttle my connection and my internet grinds to a halt. Thank you, Verizon, for the opportunity to pay $89.99 monthly, all for the luxury of having no internet. Despite this, like a battered housewife, I insisted. They're doing it because they love me. Then, about a month later, I received a cease and desist from Verizon, telling me that I'm most definitely going to jail, giving me a list of racially motivated gangs I can choose to join once inside. I've never owned a paper shredder before, but I gotta tell you, it's strangely satisfying. That's my third letter this week. So I realized my internet provider really doesn't know what's best for me. So instead, I chose to install ExpressVPN. When I run ExpressVPN, my internet traffic goes through a secure encrypted server. So my ISP can't throttle my download speed because they can't see what I'm doing, nor can they see the sites I visit when I'm working hard at my job.
And I need a drink for this one. God, I wish that was alcohol right about now. Sadly, my manager told me that drinking during the shooting of these videos is not a good idea anymore. After that last rant went really badly. I'm just kidding. I don't have a manager. And you will never know what's in this glass. I wonder what came up when he searched that. What did the algorithm do with this fucking search?
And sell my mental illness to advertisers. It's incredibly easy to use. All I had to do is download the app, tap a single button, and just like that, I'm fully secured. And ExpressVPN does all this without slowing my connection. So stop letting internet providers arbitrarily decide what you can and can't do with something you pay good money for every month. Protect yourself today from the misinformed decisions of mega corporations who don't care if you live or die by using the same VPN I've trusted since 2019. 3 years, and they never failed me once. How about that for an endorsement? Sign up now and you can get 3 months of ExpressVPN for free by visiting expressvpn.com.
Oh yeah, aren't they the ones who denied him money during his Morrow interview for that I mean, that ad was really bad though.
/Seth or clicking the link in the description box below. Thank you to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video. Gameplay is pretty straightforward. You help out your local village by beating the shit out of everything and consuming their dead bodies. For an island guardian, you're actually quite terrifying, and the village itself is a really nice place. What a beautiful day on God's earth. I wonder, what shall I do today? Work on myself? Develop my skills? Care for my friends and family? I know, I'll spend my entire life online and become increasingly weird and isolated, divorced from reality. Self-esteem? What's that? I like the little townspeople. They give you a sense of community and a purpose for why you're doing what you're doing. I also found out the flying minigame is a really good way to make money. On the other hand, it's really difficult to explain to friends the nature of your anger. There's not many ways to say, I popped. Like Icarus, I flew too close to the sun. Or in this case, I flew too close to one chicken dinner too many. And I have to repeat the entire stage. You can play using a keyboard or controller, but I strongly recommend a controller for your own comfort and sanity. Personally, I think the platforming is incredibly difficult. I've had situations where I can clear the entire level, but I can't make a single jump to save my life. And then I proceed to repeatedly eat the same trap until I die. You have two spells, fire and egg. What do they do? Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. Fire is fire, and egg can make a cow forcibly pregnant. Not really much more to say about that. We know the rest. The milk industry, reptile eggs. Some would argue you can't have one without the other. You get extra skills and abilities by defeating bosses, which in turn can be used to access new areas. Music is pretty nice. You hear the same tracks often, but they're not grating or pronounced, so they don't really feel repetitive. Some sounds are not balanced for the rest of the game. Each time I hit an armored pig, my speakers shake and my table travels. In town, you can buy items, and I strongly recommend them. They can save your life or a trip back home, which can be quite a bit of backtracking. Thankfully, you unlock the ability to fast travel relatively early into the game. I actually love it because the animation is based on your current weight. So if you're thin, you can tell it's a very pleasant ride. If you're not, well, it's clearly more of a struggle to stay in the air. At some point, I realized you can intentionally get caught and bloated by slime plants, break free, spit out the slimes, kill them, and generate infinite XP. Unfortunately, I have to witness something unsettling each time I do this. So no, I don't think it's an exploit. It's an intentional form of torture. Everything you gain is outweighed by everything you lose, namely the ability to close your eyes ever again without that image burned into your skull.
You know what? Normally I would say, who the fuck would do this to themselves just to grind XP in a fucking furry inflation fetish game? But that person is Seth. Think about it. He loves exploiting games. He loves abusing in-game economies to his advantage. This is the perfect torture device for a person like that, because they feel a compulsion to exploit the game. It's like a natural thing for them, but there's a heavy price to pay at the end of that tunnel. Poor bastard.
Enemies are varied and will harm you in one of two ways. One, they can kill you. Two, they can forcibly feed you until you explode. This is a similar experience to visiting grandma. The longer you stay, the higher your risk of cardiac.
Okay, that one is true as fuck though. The most based thing he said in this entire video.
Rest. She won't kill you out of hatred. She'll drown you in the pancake syrup river of love. Also, the death sequence for getting too full is arguably more difficult to swallow. Food is both your strength and weakness. You must constantly toe the line between obesity and death. They say video games are not the greatest medium for storytelling, but I disagree. When you see your obese lizard grappling the side of a cliff, his face says it all. Without words, he evokes one singular emotion: concern. The enemy placement in this game is brutal. Forget those two archers in Anor Londo.
I will never forget those two archers in Anor Londo. Thank you very much, Seth.
That will seem like a play.
By the way, did you know that in the original Dark Souls version, which not many people played because it got really popular later down the line, but in the original version of the game, this section was way more fucking difficult because there was an undocumented change in one of the patches where they moved the archer that is directly behind you in this moment. They moved him behind the building, so right now Seth is not getting any arrows up his asshole. But in the original game, he stood on this very ledge just later down the line, and you immediately got an arrow rammed up your ass right about now. So
pleasant memory when you're
in the current version of the game, all you have to worry is that one in front of you. So it's like twice as easy, if not even easier than that. Why the fuck did they make that section like that? Jesus Christ.
by roast turkey. You get XP pretty generously, and this lets you upgrade your abilities at any time. Many of these are locked until you get later into the game. I don't have any recommendations except get healing on your punches, because relying on digestion for health is okay, but you can't do magic on an empty stomach. And that's a shame, because playing the game as a tactical egg artillery is objectively the best experience. Imagine seeing something pouring from the sky, and it's either going to kill you or make you pregnant. That's quite terrifying. Critique. I hate slimes. I really dislike them. That is all. Besides that, sometimes animations really don't look like they should affect you, but they do. Like, you can feel a hammer's shockwave when you're not even on the same floor. It's a minor complaint, and they'll probably fix this. You know what? It's a furry developer. In all likelihood, they will fix this.
That is true, though.
And they're currently taking notes. That's the difference. You want something done? Stop recruiting on LinkedIn. Go to Fur Affinity instead. Also, some...
I really gotta fucking say this. Furries, when they start a project or something, first of all, they have insane funding because all of the furries are fucking, I don't know, apparently sons and daughters of Elon Musk, because they have infinite fucking money. And so furry developers have infinite funding because they often do crowdsourcing of some kind. And the developers themselves are fucking madly driven to make their product to the best to their ability. And then when they make it, they continuously expand their fucking abilities and upgrade the game to match them, which results in them spiraling into actually very skilled artists or developers who did all of that fucking training on some fetishy subject. That is madness. Truly.
Some of the controls can be awkward, but you can remap them. And also, you're just gonna get used to it. Reverse critique. I really like the idle animations. That is all. In conclusion, I give Tribal Hunter a full out of belly. It was there for me.
Why did...
during a difficult period of my life.
Okay, this is better. Moment to pause. I don't like the art style. It really looks like a Flash game from back in the day, like on Newsgrounds or something. Which is not that bad of a thing. It's just, I've seen better art directions, I guess. But the animations are very, like, cutesy and they look really well made. So I will give the dev that.
Each time I made any money, I would flash my wads of cash outside my wallet and comically lose them to a strong gust of wind each time. Eventually, I was left with nothing, just me and a small bag of crack. I knew I had to get my life together, so I smoked the whole bag, using them to outrun cars and siphon gasoline from their tanks, usually at the same time. I would describe the experience like using the devil trigger from Devil May Cry. I used high gasoline prices to in turn buy more crack, which I used to call fueling my addiction. I found this joke to be very amusing. I would repeat it often to the same homeless man I would hound for hours, running circles around him as he cried and wept. And here I am today. Thank you, Tribal Hunter, for giving me my life back.
Like you can't deny there is so much effort in these animations.
Hey, sorry for stretching out the video, but I'm happy to inform you all that Tribal Hunter is now on GOG. Follow my GOG link at /UNICEF for 15% off. For every dollar you spend, I will personally steal a liter of clean drinking water from the children that need it.
Do you think that when Seth approached his insider man at the GOG and told him, yo, add this game to GOG right now, do you think they just did it, or did they like ask why?
Most forget charities that make things better. I promise I'll make them worse. The developers
I mean, that is easier to do, to be fair.
told us they're really
Some people just make things worse by trying to make it better. Like, that is a very well documented thing that exists. Some charities make things better. Worse, sorry. There are charities, obviously. There are many charities that make things better, but there are some that make it worse. So, and there are some that don't do shit and just pocket your money. So do research before you donate to charities. And then after you do the research, please consider donating, because it helps people in need.
really close to a 1.0 release, so even if you buy now, the game is going to leave early access in a couple of days. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. Or don't. It's an open door policy. A warm thanks to the many members of the Merchants Guild, generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful, unless you're mentally unstable, in which case I recommend comprehensive psychiatric therapy. Have a good one.
That one was really bad, I think. That one was really bad. I don't think the flower was as bad as that one. Holy shit. Why the fuck what is this, bro? Christian A Comprehensive History Part 78 got recommended to me on Tribal Hunter Review Hyperinflation Edition. The last time I watched any video about Christian was where that thing where he was going to prison was at the very peak. Unless something new is happening I don't know about yet. Maybe there is some new news. Maybe he came out of prison. I don't really know. But that is fucking wild. Yeah, anyway. Tribal Hunter Review, huh? What a game. It's certainly interesting. Very colorful. The animations are high quality. I've seen worse animations in AAA studio games. I mean, like, half of the shit still looked better than just talking to an NPC in Mass Effect Andromeda, so yeah. But why though? But why? It's not even... I know why a person made it. Okay, I know that. But why did Seth review it? That is so not like the rest of his repertoire. I don't know. I just don't know. Legitimately, I do not know. And that would be all. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.